My name is Fraser.
My name is Mark.
And we are the hosts of the geekiest show alive. To the outside world, we're ordinary geeks.
But in the Fab International Studios, we talk comics and find other geeks just like us. This is Geek of the Week.
It's Trade-Off.
This one he does do live every week.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't do this on live.
No, I like it.
And I always differ as well and do something different with it.
Or just talk.
Or just keep going, just talk over it while it's happening. Yeah, this is Trade-Off. This is a section of the show where Mark and I basically trade off, and what we mean by that is we give each other trades. Now, Mark and I have very different tastes when it comes to comics, or at least we used to. We're doing this show for 22 issues. Our tastes are sort of melding into one.
Except when you give me Power Rangers.
Yeah, which is why I like to sometimes keep Mark on his toes by giving something I know I love, and I know Mark probably won't. Let's keep each other on our toes, of course we do. But this month we're doing, with it being International Women's Month, we're doing more books with like strong female either characters or writers, or sometimes both as well. And this week it was my turn to give Mark a book. And I gave Mark Supergirl from the Batman and Superman period. This was pre-New 52. So Mark, what did you think of Supergirl?
I thought it was, from the very start, it was clear that this was a clever, well-thought-out comic book.
Yeah,
the fact that it was telling a story with the dual perspectives of Batman and Superman, or detective story and love story.
Exactly.
It was very well done, and I did feel it was a little bit like you and me. You're more like Superman, and I'm more like Batman.
Which is why when I gave this to him, I was like, "Oh, Mark's going to enjoy this because he's going to see this is our radio show."
It is, and Batman was right.
But that also
Batman was totally right.
He wasn't.
Yeah, he was. He was totally right.
He got proved wrong at the end.
But so did Superman. That was the point. They both got proved wrong.
Maybe that's what we need. We need a third. We need a Wonder Woman in here.
We do need a Wonder Woman.
Tell us both that we're wrong because we both have our things. But that's the thing.
You're right. Batman did get proved wrong, but I kind of brushed that underneath the carpet and focused on Superman being wrong. And
you know what? I feel like you do that a lot on this show as well.
You too.
This just proves, because Superman and Batman, like you say, they kept the duality, and they kept going back and forth, and obviously they're opposing on this, but they're still good friends and they still work well as a team,
exactly
like we do.
Yeah, it was super clever, and it did make me smile, and
it didn't affect the origin story of Supergirl. In fact, it enhanced it, because it was that thing of it created this mystery of this character. It's like, oh, who's going to be right about it, Batman or Superman? And it was really nice, and I did like Wonder Woman intervening and sort of being like, "No, boys, step aside.
Get away, boys.
You're getting this wrong."
But that's the thing, isn't it? This is a feminist book, and the fact that the narration was two men, Batman and Superman, is a direct reflection on feminist theory of men controlling women, and everyone knows best except the woman themselves.
Yeah, because that was the thing as well.
I thought that was a wonderful message, that we love Superman, we love Batman, but they should have been letting Supergirl make her own decisions with their advice, rather than pouncing on her like men kind of do a lot in a lot of ways. And
it was one of them as well, because she's the younger character as well. It's that whole thing of like Batman and Superman were almost like parents as well, if you want to take it in another direction. On their kid, and it was just like you needed the cool aunt of Wonder Woman to be like, right guys, step asad.
I don't think anyone would cope well. I was going to say I don't think anyone would cope well if Batman and Superman were their gay dads. That would be a crazy family.
There is a Super Sons run that has, their two kids together, and they sort of like become friends. So they're sort of those, those dads that are mates, and sort of just be like, oh, the kids are playing together again. But obviously they are mates in that. But yeah, no, totally agree with that. Like that whole, men just trying to control women and both being wrong, and just being like, she needs to make her own decision, and that's a thing that. It resonates with females and with like young people growing up as well. It's just like sometimes you just need that independence, and it was that independence that helped it. Do you know what I mean? And the whole thing with Batman was obviously he kept talking about the thing with Jason Todd, and this came out very recently after Jason Todd passed away, and he was always worried about, and that was his issue really. That was his, as a father figure, he was like, I just keep seeing Jason Todd whenever I see you with her, and I don't want that to happen to you. And they had their best intentions, but it just didn't work out.
And that's the thing, isn't it? A lot of the time when people behave like this and kind of like, they don't even deliberately oppress women. They really feel that they're doing what's best for them.
Yeah.
But they're not taking the opinion of the actual person that you're doing this to. It's not necessarily deliberate, but it's arguably abusive.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you might not be meaning to, but the person might feel like that way as well. And like, that was the big thing for Supergirl in this, was just like, because she's coming from Krypton, and she's trying to find a way around Earth, and that's the only reason you would probably take, their opinions, is because like, I'm out of my comfort zone here. I'm not like, I'm new here.
But again, you should come to people for help rather than them force it on you. And like I say, this is clearly a feminist book, and it's done really, really well and really, really cleverly.
Yeah,
I feel. Which brings me to my next point, which is a negative on the book, and it does hurt me a little bit to say this. The artwork is amazing. The artwork is gorgeous.
It's beautiful as well, because it's that innocence of Supergirl, the bright colours, but you do have a very good point on it.
But the problem is, the artwork is great, but it's a bit TNA. It's got big women with big boobs. It's got women with outfits that go right up their bum, so you can see off their bum cheek. And it feels incongruous with the story that they're telling, that they've got these overly exaggerated Barbie-type women that are telling a feminist story, and it does feel like the artwork's a little tittillating.
It feels like the artist and the writer weren't fully communicating with what the story was going to be.
I mean, give it a bit of slack. It's about 12 or 15 years old, and that was the art style of the time.
I did want to highlight when we were talking about this is it's definitely of its time, because it's from the 2000s sort of era. So it's like,
but I find it frustrating.
That's what you would get. That's what you were getting at that time, and it's one of them. It's a groundbreaking story. It's a shame that the art doesn't fit that, because it would have been a nice little. It would have made it even more timeless.
Yeah,
like,
I think
the story's timeless, but sometimes the artwork, it's like you say, it just pulls you away from a bit, and
it detracts from the story and almost undermines it.
Yeah,
not desperately. It's not Vampirella level of exploitation, but it's not awful. It's clearly,
it's not too much.
Busty women with tight leotards that don't leave much to the imagination. That grated with me. Maybe I'm just being a little oversensitive, but I just felt it undermines the story a little.
Depends, but but enjoyed overall.
Yeah, very much
Not
so.
A Power Rangers versus Justice League situation.
No, very much so. I liked the exploration of the role reversal, that she was supposed to be older than him, but because wibbly wobbly timey wimey, he ended up being a father figure to her, even though she was his older cousin. That was interesting.
That's always great with the Superman and Supergirl dynamic. It's great. They do it a lot. They've done it with the TV show, of course, and stuff.
This is just me being the savage cynic that I am.
Oh no!
I felt like the story could have benefited from her actually dying at the end.
Oh yeah, because they did the whole it's that superhero image of them in the arms, like no. I'm looking.
It would have been.
You can't die on your origin story, though.
Well, but that's the whole point, isn't it? No one would have expected someone to die on their origin story. It would have been hugely. It would have been a huge impact. That I understand why it didn't happen. It's a franchise that they were launching, but still, I almost wish I'd stopped reading after the death of Supergirl. But no, overall, it was an excellent quality comic book that I genuinely enjoyed. And as I've talked about with even earlier today on the Red Hood thing, I've struggled to get into comic books from DC that are earlier, that have lots and lots of previous backstory. Whereas this one, I didn't feel like that at all.
Yeah, it was nice to have a.
You just needed to know who Superman was. You just need to know who Batman was. I didn't feel like it was too.
And of course, because it was their series. It was the Batman and Superman series, like World's Finest Teen Up, and then that's how they were introducing them in. So that might be a good thing to do for traders, sort of introduce you into more DC characters.
No, I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Fraser.
I might put Under the Hood in there then. We were talking about Jason Todd before, and we talked about it in this trade. In this trade-off. But yeah, we want to know your thoughts. Have you checked out Supergirl? Have you checked out this trade? Let us know what you think. Do you agree with us? Are you like, no, you're both wrong? I mean, I don't think anyone's that aggressive with it. But yeah, we want to know. We want to know.
We probably won't reply if you are.
Yeah, it'll be on the YouTube comments below, Facebook, Twitter. Just let us know. And interestingly enough, speaking of trade-offs and the way we sort of do, we raised a message from the multiverse that was based off trade-offs, and it was, our question is for this one, it'll be coming up in a couple of shows, is what trade would you lend to someone that you wanted to get them into comics with? And we've had a few replies so far. We're going to pick up some more.
We want more.
That'll be,
let us know what trade you would give to someone who's not into comics to try and get them into comics, because we want to chat about that on the air. I think that'd be a really interesting
Or if you want to get them into a certain, like I want to sort of get you more into DC, which characters should I get you to?
Yeah,
so then
expand it as much as you like.
Exactly. But that's a show, guys. So listen to Geek of the Week. Be sure to tune in next week. Same geek time, same geek channel.
And if you want to follow us on social media, it's at GOTW Radio on Twitter. Search for Geek of the Week Radio Show on Facebook. And to listen again, it's www.mixcloud.com/Geek of the Week Radio Show.